All right, gentlemen, it's good to have you. Apparently, it happens that issues with these recent times are becoming to heat up on the people. We have gone back to the era of people having to queue, long queues at filling stations, and one will start to wonder, at what point did we get back to this? I thought we were going past this, and then it dawned on us that perhaps we are not really gone past it. It's just that it's just a shadow somewhere pushed that is reflecting again. Let's start the conversation with a little background of it. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it has found an unsafe quantity of methanol in petrol imported into the country and has cited this as a reason for fuel scarcity in the latest queues you've seen around Nigeria, cities around Nigeria. Now, there are speculations that most of the petroleum products in Nigeria imported under the direct sale, direct purchase, DSDP contract through a company that brings in, the largest international marketing and trading company that brings in content into the country, has a high content of methanol and ethanol, which are outside the official specification of the petroleum products we use here in Nigeria. Now, this has resulted to the recent scarcity. The federal government had to, at some point, put a stop to the circulation of this product, and here we are today, leading to what you see right there on your screen. People having to scavenge, people have to panically buy petroleum products for rainy days. It appears that the rainy days are here, talking about fuel scarcity. Mr. Ayo, let's begin with you. How does this sit with you? Let's start with that. Knowing fully well that we've gone back and forth on issues around queues in Nigeria for petroleum products, something that is largely used in the country. How does this sit with you?
Thank you very much. Well, on a lighter note, I clocked the age of 69 years on Tuesday.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Cheers to new age.
And I want to use this opportunity to express profound gratitude to the president of Galaxy Television, Steve Ojo, for giving us this opportunity to air our views in very vibrant, candid, objective manner on this platform. And
Any click after.
Yes. Honestly, this is one issue that has really troubled my mind, because it is that of the paradox of penury in the midst of plenty. You cannot imagine someone standing by the bank or the harbor of an Atlantic Ocean and washing his hands with spittle. 66 years ago, oil was discovered in Oloibiri. You look at other countries that are oil producing. Is it Saudi Arabia, Russia, Canada, the US? You situate that, or Venezuela. You situate that with what we are suffering now. Because I'm someone who is always pained by any issue that should have been avoided or prevented long before now. So, I don't want us to look at the issue of adulterated fuel in isolation. We have to take a more holistic approach to it. One, you have 4 refineries, for God's sake. You tell us that you are spending billions on turnaround maintenance without producing a drop of refined fuel. We've mentioned this issue before. The economic equation is not balanced. It doesn't make any sense that you, as a farmer, I've always used this in other, you have yams. You have produced yams. You cannot pound these yams. Your wives cannot even take care of them. You have to take this outside for other people to pound, and you buy at exorbitant prices. It doesn't make any sense. Now, you look at the fact that the price regimen does not align with a country that produces the crude version. What have we been doing over the past 66 years? You look also at the issue of what I call culture of crass impunity. The president has promised that, oh, he's going to deal with, you know, maybe those that have been identified. We know MRS, Wando, you know.
Let's not call them.
Okay. So, whatever names have been given, those that have been involved in similar or worse crimes that have affected the quality of life of Nigerians, what has happened to them? You will recall the the scam at the NDDC, when one of the top, you know, hierarchy member was
yes of the
was brought, you know, before the lawmakers fainted off the mic years after what has happened now. You see, let me explain one thing.
Go ahead.
You remember that any price increase or the issue of the fact that there is an inadequate supply now, there is a snowball effect. There is a domino effect on all other things. If you increase the price of fuel, for instance, it affects that of food, it affects that of the transportation, and every other thing. So what I'm saying is that Nigerians deserve far better quality of life than what we, over the years, not just this administration, it's something that has been, you know, going on for quite some years.
Let me continue.
Yes.
I think I understand your point, quite established.
Yes.
We should have gone past this level long before now. But let me come to you, Dr. Daya. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, as a major regulatory agency for petroleum products in the country, how is it possible that an amount of adulterated quantity of fuel pass through their nose? What happens to quality control? How is it that they were not thorough enough to see how these would not skip them and then go to depots and then go to innocent Nigerians? Do you think they should have done better?
Yeah, you see, I want us to be very conceptual in looking at this issue. More so that I wouldn't want to go into all that Ayo had said. Let us also ask ourselves some questions based on those questions you asked. How come will kidnappers also be able, despite this is a national monument, this is national security, this is where the soldiers are, where you have all sorts of things that seize everything that comes in, how come kidnappers too were able to penetrate the gates and then do all their dastard acts and then also be able to escape? I don't know whether I'm making sense there. More that I am not trying to exonerate NNPC in what has happened. I want us to look at the issue of sabotage. And when I'm talking of sabotage, I want us to also bring it down to when elections are coming up in Nigeria. I will refer us back to the first time of the last years of former president Ebele Goodluck Jonathan, 2015 thereabout. You remember a lot of instructions that happened. And some of us at that time were saying, look, this is nothing other than sabotage. And thereafter, beans were spilled. We are witnesses in this country. So whatever might have happened too, yes, this government has its own shortcomings, has its own fallings in terms of not making us ever since to have refineries, despite the 38 or close to 38 licenses they were giving to some people to build modular refineries. But aside, when we're looking at the scenario now, I wouldn't want us to rule out sabotage. And when some people are planning to sabotage a particular situation, mark you, In Yoruba, they say something. Call on back allow any to show the If I'm out to do something to you, it is me that knows, which they call Onikulomoka. That is the person that wants to perpetrate evil. Is the one that knows he wants to perpetrate evil. The person that is going to affect will not know. Okay, will not know. Yes, there is quality control. Yes, here and there, there is inspection agents and all that. And even after reading all those reports, this thing came from Belgium. They mentioned some companies and all that. And then as they entered, they did their Q&Q, quality control analysis and all, quantity and quality analysis and all that. And they didn't find this. So how did this thing get there? Now a pointer to NPC now. I haven't said that. Then I haven't mentioned some companies. They got to go and look into who and who owns those companies. All right? They got to go and look into who and who owns those companies. What is their political interest? What is their political interest in the coming elections? Because for me, I've been saying it, enough of playing politics with our lives. Our so-called leaders, they are all the same, and they know themselves. They know how to heal themselves. But unfortunately, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. Look at this that happened now. Who are the people suffering it? It's the people. It's the people.
Okay, I think I quite understand your stand on this matter, but Ayo, do you also align with his thoughts that this perhaps is politically oriented? And if it is, what possibly can a party affiliated politically want to likely get from this, seeing that it might directly not affect the political party as it were, might affect more of the citizens underneath? Just like you said, that if two elephants have a battle, the grass underneath suffers it more. So it might be more effective on people that do not even have an understanding. So do you also share in this view that it's politically oriented?
I have a different perspective.
Okay.
I said that this issue, we should not take it in isolation. You cannot take the issue of adulterated, refined or imported petroleum products in isolation of some other factors. I have a critical question to ask. The timing is very suspicious. Why is it that it is now just 1 or 2 weeks after the imbroglio between the labor union or the associations and the federal government over the issue of removal of fuel subsidy that this issue is coming up?
And that is where the sabotage stands.
Yes.
That is where the sabotage stands.
At the end of the day, what I see playing out is that Nigerians will be compelled to buy this, apart from the fact that we are talking about they are not even supplying now. That very aspect, the end is going to justify their means. That is, they want the price increase by all means. So at a point when they said no, they were not going to increase it, someone posted online. I don't want to mention the the media organization, that okay, the government has told us that for now there will be no removal of fuel subsidy. That was how Nigerians were, comforted, were told that there will be no increase in the electricity tariff. But are we not paying more now? That something else will soon happen, as if the fellow was predicting, that will compel Nigerians to buy this fuel at exorbitant prices. Now there is shortage. It's simple law of economics. What are you going to do?
No, but
So I'm coming. Just a minute. The issues is not just the fact that this thing has happened now.
Okay.
There is lack. The supply is inadequate.
Okay.
Everybody is on my way to this place. I was just looking around. Just maybe out of 7 filling stations, maybe about 2. The others, they've locked up. So there are very, other factors, critical factors that are not being considered. The question also is this: how will the federal government explain to Nigerians that you are spending billions on turnaround maintenance of the 3 out of the 4 refineries, and you are not producing just a drop? How do you explain that? Doesn't make any economic sense. Not long ago, there was a warning from Bismarck Rewani of financial derivatives. Said over the next 1 year that as far as their studies or researches have shown, that the inflation rate will hit about, the average will be about 13.3%. This is one of the issues you are looking at. Even before now, we were talking about the high inflation rate on food prices is going to be worse now, because as I've told you before,
don't let us miss out something. Let us miss out something.
No.
When we're talking of sabotage,
wait. No, I don't like argument.
You are going somewhere else. You are going to inflation.
No.
We are not talking of
inflation. Wait.
Okay,
I'm not looking at. Wait.
I think I should allow you to make a submission.
Yeah, exactly.
Afterwards, then
then you can come in. That is always like that. When you are analyzing, you have your own time. You allow. Wait.
I want to hear where he is tending to. Afterwards, I'll be sure if that is a digression or the path we are actually told. I just want to hear you briefly, please.
Thank you. You see, it's very easy. It's cheap. This thing, blackmail that. Some people are sabotaging the government. That's why. But the question I asked, nobody has answered. Why is it that it's soon after the government has said, okay, we are not removing fuel subsidy?
Okay.
Now, there is inadequate supply.
That is where I'm coming.
Wait. No, we are not. Let me remind you that you are not the hostess or the host. So as at this time, anytime you are on air, as far as GPAN is concerned, anytime you are on air, wait. You allow others to talk. Gentlemen, people are watching from Moldova.
Hold on, gentlemen.
When it comes to
hold on. I think I have you here.
Yes.
I understand your point quite well.
Yes.
I understand ease as well.
Yeah.
However, I think what you're saying kinds of align at some point, and at some point kinds of still disagrees, because you're saying that if you are totally putting an end to fuel subsidy, or you're suspending fuel subsidy removal,
good.
How is it that you're not making other things available to ensure that there won't be any issue or reason for suspicion?
God bless
in the first instance.
Simple.
And he is saying that if at all you are not bringing anything on board, perhaps there is another party that you are not aware of.
I understand that.
You are not aware of, but might be doing a very dirty job behind you to sabotage all the efforts you have put in place to put the
very good.
And people listen to
it will be the rule. Wait.
I think I understand this.
Yes.
But I want to hear.
It will be the role of government. What I want to know.
Just a moment.
The role of government to find out who are those sabotagers.
Just a moment. We'll get to that point. We'll get to that point.
The
first issue is this.
When you're talking of sabotage, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean political parties.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean a single individual
entity.
All right? Now, government said we're going to do this. Labour was trying to protest against it. All right? And government heard it. They said, okay, we are putting a halt. Okay? We are putting a halt. Mark you. Understanding of political activities in this country has taught somebody like me a lot of lessons, especially when elections are approaching. You hear and you see and you experience different types of scenarios.
Okay, so what's your submission?
Now the issue is this: when there could be some people who are saying yes, by the time Labour is having its protest, we are going to badge on it and overtake. But now Labour are suspended. I made a submission that very day Labour suspended their this. I said Labour supposed to have gone ahead with their demonstration so as to show government that, look, you cannot play with this fuel increase again. But the issue now is this: after the suspension, a week or 2 weeks thereafter, we are having this. So you can never, even though I said yes, government has its shortcomings, so also we should never remove that hands of sabotage there. So that at the end of the day, we'll be able to know how to place different scenarios in this country.
Okay, I'll stay with you just for a moment. You are of the opinion that there is more of sketchiness under this. There's a lot of things that are underneath that perhaps is bringing a lot of sabotage resultant effect out here on the open. However, if the government is not being sabotaged by politically affiliated parties, it is still, I believe, the function of the government to still figure out, because the government is sovereign.
Yes.
The government is sovereign overall.
Yeah.
There is nothing that could expressly pass under the nose of the government that wouldn't notice. So if at all it goes, are we supposed to be probing the sabotages or saboteurs, or are we supposed to be focusing on how government allowed that in the first place? Skip them.
The two you should do, I will tell you why.
All right,
the two you should do. If you don't follow and investigate sabotage, when tomorrow comes, you thought that you have done everything, they will enter again. But you must know how, which area did they enter from? Who are these people? What was their aim? Why did they do this? Do you understand? So the moment you know that, it will serve as a kind of precaution for you against further or future occurrences.
Okay.
On the second one,
right.
Yes, you too also have to, aside from investigation, if you have not been importing fuel, will this have happened? It can still happen. So you have to look for a proper safeguard, holistic safeguard, so that it doesn't happen. Even if Nigeria is having its refineries, it can still happen.
Okay, so what you're
to
saying,
a very large extent, government itself should look for a holistic safeguard to protect and ensure that such a thing doesn't reoccur in future.
all right,
Excuse me.
quite a submission there.
Good.
But just before I come to you, in case you're watching and you might want to contribute to this very interesting conversation we're having here, the number is scrolling right now on your screen. Please send a text on that number. We'll take your text messages, and of course, we might have to discuss some of the things you're submitting. However, please do not call. No calls, no beeps, no calls. Please just send your text messages. We appreciate that. Just your take briefly before I go on a quick break. Ayobaje, you were about saying something.
Thank you very much. The non-governmental organization called Nigeria First has called on the group MD of NNPC, as well as the CEO of, the agency, the midstream and downstream agency, that are responsible because it's their own duties.
Yes.
You talked about quality control and all the rest. They are supposed to have seen. I did mention at the beginning the issue of crass impunity. People doing the wrong thing, but because of one sentiment or the other, they just slap them on the wrist and move on. Nigeria cannot continue the way we are now. I mean, somebody does the wrong things, you apply the force. There should be dispensation of justice speedily. If not, the human mind is such that we will not, those who have done the wrong thing that are left to walk the streets as free men, others who have evil minds or even more devious inclinations, they will come up and do worse things. But who are those that are bearing the brunt? You and I, we are the ones bearing the brunt now. And I am saying that Nigerians deserve far more than this. How can we belong to a country that God has blessed, and after 66 years of discovery of crude oil, after you have had 4 refineries, you are spending our own money, talking about turnaround maintenance, and at the end of the day, there's nothing that is showing for it, and we keep on borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. Who are those going to borrow? Pay this huge debt in an oil-producing country? Is this what happens in Saudi Arabia? Is this what happens in Canada? Is this what happens in the U.S.? Not at all. So this is a metaphor of failure of government.
Okay, quite a submission there. I think I understand your opinions at both ends. First, Dr. Daya, you're of the opinion that structure should be put to control every ways things like this could further be averted in future, whether for now, whether for future occurrences. Proper structure should be placed. And you are saying in furtherance to structure, in case we now have people that default, there should be a stern enforcement and implementation of law and order and say, you have done this wrongly, we should be able to deal with you